It says I'm live. Am I live? I was having so many technical issues. I have my Halloween party banner up. I know this isn't it's kind of a Halloween party. I just love it so much. I needed to bring it in. All right. Hopefully I'm live in all the places I want to be live. Hello, everyone. This is my attempt at deer makeup because I'm a little deer while trying to deal with some kids stuff while running late to a call. Oh my gosh, but it is super fun. Later I have like antlers that I'm gonna put on so it'll really feel more like a deer. And I might do this. You know, doesn't that look like a deer? Kind of like a mohawky deer. Oh yeah, maybe I'll do the call like this. This is awesome. I can't see if anyone's hanging out with me. Say hello in the chat if you're here so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. That would be awesome. We are talking about... Oh, yay. People are here. Love this. Hi, dear. Hello. Oh, okay. Yay. Thank you, everyone. It was cool because I was just on a call. It says we're 9. Okay, great. It's just on a call. We were talking about like teammates and entities, and then nothing was working technology wise. So we had to do a little clearing there. But here we are. I would love to play with engaging with the magic of the spirit world because you know I love magic, and there's so much to engage with. I know often when we think ghosts or spirits or whatever, we're probably thinking of the movies with like the Poltergeist or maybe like I used to love Amityville. Is that how you call it? I can't remember. Where thank you. I like there's so much more I wanted to do with the makeup, but it's good. I actually like it too. Where it's like it's all horror stuff, right? It's all scary stuff, or it's all like handling and dealing with entities and stuff. But what about the magic? What about like the spirit world encompasses so much. I have communicated with dragons, fairies, things I don't have words for. I never heard of them before, so I don't even know what to call them. There's so much to engage with in that whole realm, and so I wanted to play with that a little bit today on Halloween. Happy Halloween, by the way. If you guys are dressed up, I would love some photos. You could put them in the group. That would be so cool. Because on this really fun day, a lot of people are kind of like engaging with the entities and the spirits. We have the Day of the Dead in parts of the world. And then there's people that are avoiding it completely, right? Terrified. Hopefully you're here and you're not terrified because I want to actually open the door a little bit. The veils are thin this day for engaging, yeah. So are you willing to open the door a little bit to the spirit world so you can receive and gift and play with all the magic that's available? Yes, ma'am. So we're going to use the Access Consciousness clearing statement here today. If you've never heard that before, it goes like this: right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. It's a magic wand just to clear some energy shit. You don't need to understand it to have it work. We will put a link in here to theclearingstatement.com if you want more information. I'm not going to really go into it today because we're just going to go and we're going to play. So anything that doesn't allow you to engage with the spirit world with ease and joy and glory, are you willing to destroy and create it? Anything that doesn't allow that, here comes a clearing statement. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all named shorts, boys, POBADs, and beyonds. I think I actually want a big tree in my house. Like I like in my office. I like this tree here. It's like, ooh, it's so good. Okay, so everything that makes you afraid or concerned about opening the door to the spirit world, will you destroy and create all that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, talking about all natures, boys, poets, beyonds. Dana, I must have read your mind because it's exactly where I was going to go. Thanks for asking that question. How, let's put it up here. How could we know if this is a spirit world is kind or evil? Yeah. So one thing is everything that is like going to create more for your life is going to have a sense of lightness to it, right? So everything that's light for you is true for you, and everything that is heavy, there's some kind of like lie in there. Oh, hey, Linda, I didn't even see you, and now you're there. Okay, so you want to be aware when you're engaging with the spirit world. And you can do that by asking some questions. So I remember the first time I started, like a zillion years ago, I started to like kind of learn some of these tools with entities, and I started to practice. And I had this entity that came, and I was like, oh, and it kind of had like, I felt a little wonky about it. But the more I engaged, I just started to feel heavier and like sluggish and weird. And then I asked the question, so is this entity for consciousness, anti-consciousness, or unconsciousness? And I got unconsciousness. And I was like, okay, back away. Like, you are not invited to my party. And it's actually that easy. Not every single entity encounter is going to be totally completely easy and clear, and that's where, if you want like to really dive into the tools, there's a whole body of work called Talk to the Entities. I highly recommend you play with that. But as you start to play, if you get a sense that like this isn't lighting up my world, this doesn't have this sense of expanding my life, when you're engaging with something, most likely it's not there to contribute to you. It's not there for consciousness. And you can ask that question. And it's actually, what if it is a lot easier to like just whoosh the entities away, to clear them out of your life than we've been told. Okay. I know people that do, like, they do house clearing. They do all sorts of things. I'm not saying that's not valid. That's awesome. I have done house clearings for people and clients myself, even just like online, virtually. I'm just like, blah, and we've cleared stuff and it's completely changed. But what if it's not as like confusing and difficult as we are led to believe? What if you too could clear houses and clear entities and have ease with that? So again, Talk to Entities tools are a great one. Clearing entities, that's one of the things that they do a lot. But here we're going to talk about engaging. Thank you so much. Yes. And my friend, actually, Linda Rizzoli, that's on here, she facilitates Talk to Entities classes. So jump on in. There's tons of free stuff out there just to get going. So now here's the cool thing, is that when you ask, the universe delivers, right? So when you ask to engage with the magic of the spirit world, you are activating that. You're inviting that into your life, into your day. What magic of the spirit world can I engage with today? And your attention will start to go into the spaces of magic. Yeah, well, cool. I just noticed something. Energetic showed up with a lot of you. How many of you just noticed that you started to go into spaces of magic in the spirit world? And what if you were willing to engage with that? And at any time you can be like, this isn't fun for me. You can close the door. You're not stuck there. No one owns you. You are the most powerful being. More spaces of magic, please. Yeah. Okay, so engaging, there's a lot of different like ways to engage, right? If you think about engaging with someone, like there's a kid over there, the kid's playing. How would you go engage with that kid? Or your partner's like making dinner. How would you go engage with them? There's a lot of like, you could, maybe you like come up, you hug your partner, give them a kiss on the cheek, or you pour them a glass of wine, or you go over and you like start playing with the kid and you're like, what are you up to? Or you start asking questions, right? There's like a lot of different ways to engage. And so when you look at you're engaging with the spirit world, you have all this energy, like the energy of your magical infinite being. The magic that you be embodied in the magic of your body. And now you're going to access this magical universe, essentially. And what engagement can you be? You don't have to figure that out. You don't have to have a doing. When you ask to engage with the magic of the spirit world, you've begun. It's already occurring. Conscious beings, what they are. Yeah. Maybe you're asking, what are conscious beings? So beings, so like there's so much to get into this, but if you look at like you are an infinite being that is occupying a body. And when your body dies, you're going to be that infinite being. Hopefully you're a conscious being. And conscious means that you're conscious, that you are present, that you are, consciousness is defined as including everything and judging nothing. So the more you're inclusive and out of judgment and into the expanding of possibilities in the world, that's the kind of being that you would be. And so when your body dies, you will still be that conscious being. Now, can it get more detailed? Of course. Like there can be beings of light. There can be, some people talk about angels, or some people talk about, like I was talking about before, like those of the magic realms, like dragons and fairies and stuff like that. But to really make it simple, it's like we are conscious beings. Yeah. So just watch the video and tell them what if money is an entity. Oh yeah, I like that. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. And in Access Conscious, we use entity a lot rather than ghosts or spirits because people have less charge kind of around those things. And you notice even if I say like dragon or fairy, or there's like a lot of, if you notice, a mix of energy that shows up with that. Because we have like these ideas of what does that look like? What is that supposed to be like? Is that even true? That's fantasy, that's fairy tale, all that stuff, right? So what if you acknowledge what you know about magical creatures, and what do you know about engaging with the magic of the spirit world that you're pretending to know or denying that you know or not supposed to know? And what if you allowed yourself to know it? Anything that doesn't allow that, we just train and create it. Please write around, give out, talk about all name short words. What was it? So we're doing a lot of energy work right now. I'm talking and I'm saying things, and some of the things make sense and some of them don't. But what we're doing mostly is actually an energetic engagement right now. And the more you engage with magic, the more it, like, you're bringing it here. Like you as a magic being engaging with the magic of the spirit world, we're creating a more magical planet. How fucking cool is that? If you don't like swearing, I'm sorry, but that needed a cuss word because it's so incredible. It is so incredible that we have this capacity to alter reality and bring magic here for us and for everyone. Yeah, sewing magic, yeah. So what engagement with the magic of the spirit world could you choose today that would create a greater future and life for you right away? Anything that does not allow that, will you destroy and create it? Please, right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all named shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. I think that's one of the reasons I always love dressing up, is because there's like this different engagement that you're being with. Like I used to love, like I've been a witch so many times, but this one year I was like a tribal, and I had the mohawk at the time, and I was like this tribal warrior, and I went out with a couple of girls. We all kind of did, and we made our own costumes, and it was like, it felt so tribal, and we were like really engaging with that energy of like that earthy tribe energy and that potency and that kind of like powerful woman, you know. And then like I've been the vampire, and then you're like kind of like playing with that energy and like that, you know, whole like sensual vampire kind of thing, and gypsy or pirate or whatever it is. Like that's part of the fun for me in dress up time for Halloween, is to play with those energies, because you're engaging with them in a different way. So how is it fun for you to engage with the magic of the spirit world? Maybe for some of you, it's like, oh my God, I'm so inspired. I'm going to go check out all this Toxic Entity stuff. Or maybe there's different like entity stuff that you've played with. There's 2 phenomenal books, Toxic Entities and Beings of Light. I highly recommend reading. And for some of you, it might be like, you know what? Not going down. Like, I want to know what I know. Like, I want to explore what I'm aware of here. I want to like play in this realm a little bit, or it's going to be both, which is pretty cool. But you are most likely engaging with the magic of the spirit world all the time and not even acknowledging it. Like, how many of you have incredible, vivid dreams and feel like a different person when you wake up in the morning, or like you changed the world, or you brought something here? Yeah. Is the veil of this day also thinner to be able to engage with the capacity from former lives? That's a great. So I don't know if I should get too much into this. I have an interesting point of view about the veil thinner. When I look at that for myself, like, is the veil thinner on this particular day than it is other times? It's like there's a yes and a no. Like, what if part of that is the conditioning that we have with entities, and like All's Hallow Eve, and like there's truths to it and then there's lies to it. So the best thing you can do with anything involving magic or entities is to clear the significance, because there's this massive significance on like the thinning of the veil. But I gotta tell you, I talk to entities all year round, all the time. And I'll have moments where there's something going on like in the world, like some global energy. And I would say the veil is thinner in those times than I've ever seen on the day of Halloween. So not to negate like this day and what is possible, but also can we like open up to all the possibilities and all the times of the year where, you know, like that engagement beyond the veil is available. Anything that does allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive, that will you destroy and create it. Please, right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nature, space, moments, beyond. And now you can ask yourself, that was such a great question. So, are you able to engage more with the capacities you had in a former life on Halloween? Or is it available to you all the time? And know what you know about that, because you know something about that. Yeah. And what if you're willing to know what you know? Yeah. Linda, you said magical fiction. Totally. Me too. I love all the time. Yeah. There are a set of books that actually the magnificent wizard Gary Douglas recommends. Gary Douglas is the founder of Access Consciousness, which is like the body of work that I play with. Talk to the entities within that universe. And it's the Magic of Recluse series. Okay. And so they talk about like chaos mages and order mages and white wizards. And it's actually really, really cool. And what I noticed is when I read those books, it actually is like not teaching me magic, but it's like recalling certain magics that I used to use. And like there's this one example, I can't remember, it's in the second book or the third book, but he's like he's learning how to take like wood. Okay, so he's a woodworker. Yeah, the Magic of Recluse series. So he works with wood, right? And so he would like instill the energy of order within the planks of the wood to make them stronger and more beautiful. And he would like talk about like these like almost lines of energy like going through the wood. And it was just like over and over and over again. And as I was doing it, I felt like I was practicing. It was as though I was like gaining capacities through just reading this book, because that's just an engagement of magic, right? It's just a different way that it's showing up within reading this fantasy book. Yeah, and some movies will do that with me. And I love nature is a great place for me to like engage with the magic of the spirit world. Like nature spirits. Oh my gosh, especially if you can go somewhere like a little less on the beaten path, if you know what I mean, like off the beaten path, like a little bit. There's like so many beings that are willing to engage. And again, yes, have your awareness up. Don't assume that every single entity that you come across is wonderful and just totally there to support you. Just like there are asshole people in the world, there are asshole entities in the world. So just be aware. But know that you have more power than them. And that's a common lie, that they have more power than you. What if you actually have more power than them, you with the body? That's a whole nother big topic to get into too. But where are the places that you tend to engage with the magic of the spirit world that you either haven't acknowledged or you could look at bringing into your life more? I even just have moments in the morning where I love like when the sun's coming up. I love watching that. And it's getting like the days are getting shorter here where I live. And so I'll get up in the morning and like doing a little bit of yoga or whatever, asking my morning questions, and the light's coming up. And I have this like sense of like this opening, not every morning, but some mornings. And I start to like communicate with the beings that are around, the beings that are tending. I don't know if you've ever like gone for a really early morning walk and sense like beings tending to the earth at that time. I have. It's so amazing. And that engagement, like I had described, like how you engage in this physical world, like being that energetic engagement can show up in a million different ways. But what if you're willing to be that energetic engagement with all of these magical beings that are here tending to this world with us? What if the veil being thinner at certain times is necessary, at some times for focus, etc.? And what if we're now shifting it to another time? Totally. Like there's so much possible. And again, my makeup was doing something weird. Again, like it's incredible to explore and ask questions, but do notice if like you are going to make something significant, right? And then you just want to clear the significance around it, because significance is a killer of magic. Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nature. It's always what was beyond. So everywhere magic, yeah, whoa. So all the significance has been killing the magic in your life and in your world and in your communion with the spirit world. Will you destroy and integrate all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nature. It's boys, poets, beyonds. Beings tending to the earth in the morning. Yeah. And so when I go out and I'm like noticing that, and I'll just ask like, oh, what like tending to what energy could I be that would be tending to the earth? And that's part of how I'm engaging with the magic of the spirit world. You know, there's these beings in when I was in Costa Rica. Yeah, I can't remember what year that was. It was a long time ago. I've been to Costa Rica a lot. I love Costa Rica. It's incredibly magical to me. And Dr. Dane here, he's the co-founder of Access Consciousness. So he had ran into a tree with his horse and kind of like damaged his ribs. And so he was doing an energetic technique called energetic synthesis of communion. And normally he would go around and he would touch people. He would just like touch them and be this energy of communion. And he couldn't walk around because he was in so much pain. So he asked, like, would you guys be willing to contribute? And is it okay if I just do it from here? And it was like, yeah, of course. Like all of us were like, of course. And so we like, a lot of us were lying down. I was like up and down. So I was like around contributing. And then I got the sense of like, lie down. So I lay down. And then it was like when he asked, would you be willing to contribute? I realized, oh my God, it's not just the people here with bodies. Like there were all these beings, like beings of light, like huge, like magnificently tall with like shooting light up out of their head. And one had said to me, is it okay if we come in closer? And I was like, yeah. And they came over and touched like my solar plex. I was like, whoa. It was such like, and they got ESC energy, like energy of the synthesis of communion. They knew that energy and they were being it in the room. It was so phenomenal. Linda says, wow, yeah. And so it was like I had met these incredible friends there. And so I remember like months later, I'm at home and I'm like not having the best day. And then I suddenly had this sense of them. And I was like, hey, could you guys just come and contribute to me? And it was like my room filled with that bright light again. And it wasn't as many as was in that room in Costa Rica. It was a huge room with like a couple hundred people, but my room was full and they were there. And I just felt like this ESC energy running. And then I would invite them, like other ESCs around the world. It was so cool to like really invite them and receive from them and contribute to them. And they're part of this magical landscape in Costa Rica. Like my sense is that's where they reside. And they're just these beautiful, miraculous spirits. And you might even have a sense of them now and you can communicate with them. You can commune with them. It's not a me thing. It's like, it's available to all of us if we're willing. And that's just like the beginning, guys. Like this Facebook Live, what if this was the beginning? Because there's so much. I do still commune with them. Yeah, I do still. And this is actually reminding me to commune with them more. So I'm going to play with them today. Well, they're kind of a little bit here right now, but I'll bring them in more. And it's just like calling a friend, right? Just energetically like, hey, can Can you come contribute? Yeah, and engaging with them and receiving from them and gifting to them. That's part of that engagement, is that allowing that communion. So what engagement can you be with the spirit world? I didn't even know these beings existed until I did. And so how many beings are desiring to contribute to you that you've maybe never even considered? Yeah. And you can just say yes. Yes, you can contribute to me. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being. The spirit world is, there's so many magical things that we could talk about, and we do talk about them. But today, because it's Halloween, we're talking about the spirit world. It's so much more than just a being without a body. It's so much more than like the ghosts and the goblins and the creepy things we see on TV. It's so much more, so much more. And I always say, like, what are you asking for and what are you inviting in? So if you are like, I want to explore like these beings in Costa Rica, or I want to explore beings of light, or I'm really curious about like those beings that tend to the earth, and I'm really curious about this, just start to ask them to show you, and be willing to engage with them. Be willing to get curious. Because there's so much available to all of us. But a lot of us walk around kind of like only what we see in that moment is what is true. There's like so much to perceive beyond sight, and so much to see that is unseen. So anything that doesn't allow you to have the ease, the joy, and the glory of engaging with the magic of the spirit world, will you destroy it and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all named shorts, boys, boys, beyonds. One of the reasons I picked like this deer kind of like magical creature energy was my sense is there are more nature spirits and spirits of magic asking to be engaged with more than ever right now. So it's interesting as the world seems like it's getting darker and more difficult and more hopeless and more scary. I sense that there's so much more magic and possibility and contribution coming forward to like meet us, to contribute to us, if we're just willing to say yes and let them in. What if you were willing to say yes today and let them in? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for playing in the magic of the spirit world with me a little bit. I hope you all have a fantastic Halloween. I love seeing costumes. So if you do dress up, please share it in the Facebook group. If you're watching on YouTube, and you are not in the Facebook group, you should join the Facebook group, as if by magic on Facebook. It's a free group for all things magic. So let's play. Let's play today. Thank you. And all the magical creatures, thank you too. Bye for now.